Multilingual folks, got any funny stories where someone didn't expect you to understand them? I'm American, but I speak a bit of Russian. A few years back, I was in St. Petersburg and decided to get boat tickets to Peterhof. All signs at the kiosk were in Russian, so I easily checked out the prices. But I looked foreign, so the crafty seller tried to charge me triple. I looked her straight in the eye and objected in fluent Russian. I said, "But the sign clearly states that one ticket costs X." Her jaw nearly dropped, and her colleague burst out laughing. This is pretty common in Russia. Locals get one price, tourists another. Walking with a German friend in Italy, I warned him in German, "Dude, don't trash talk people. Someone might understand us." A woman nearby chimed in, "Yeah, like me, LOL." Near our campus, there was this Chinese joint where everyone spoke Chinese, and though I know Chinese too, I always spoke English with them because I'm a bit self-conscious about my accent. So usually I get rice with meat from them, but this time I already had rice at home, so I just went for the meat. I walked in, made an order without rice, paid, and then I heard the cashier yelling in Chinese to a kitchen worker, "This fat ass will only have meat without rice." I heard it very clearly and decided to add also in Chinese, "That's right, I have plenty of rice at home." Since then, they always give me extra, and they didn't charge me a penny for that order. My friend and I tried to get home after getting trashed, but it was a long way and we didn't have much money, so we found two other women who also needed to go in the same direction and offered to share a taxi with them. They agreed, we called a taxi and went. Then they suddenly started speaking Swedish, not knowing my friend is half Finnish, half Swedish. I also basically understand Swedish, but at that moment I was so drunk I didn't care about anything. Suddenly I get a text message from my friend saying they are not going to pay for the taxi. I replied, "Maybe you should tell the driver." My friend turns to the driver and says, "Don't let these two out until they pay half." He got the hint, locked all doors, and they had to pay up. I lived in South Korea for 3 years but barely learned Korean. I met an English-speaking Korean woman who stood out. She was very tall with a strong American accent from studying in the US and New Zealand. When she continued her studies at an international university in South Korea, her professors assumed she couldn't speak Korean. They often insulted her right in front of her face. She felt awful about it, but didn't show it. She endured this treatment for a whole year until graduation day arrived. At graduation, she took the stage in front of 800 people and delivered her speech in perfect Korean, subtly reminding her professors how they'd called her a foreign pig. According to witnesses, one of the teachers broke down in tears from shame right there. I wish I could have seen that. When I was 16 and got a job I ended up in a Spanish-speaking group. No one knew I spoke Spanish well. They'd often make rude comments about me in Spanish, but I pretended not to understand. This went on until a few weeks later the manager told me he was more valued because he knew 2 languages. I replied in Spanish, "Cool, but I know 3. The guy was stunned when he realized I'd understood their conversations all along. I'm half Peruvian, half Swiss. I live in Peru, but you'd never guess I'm Swiss. Once on a bus, I overheard 2 Swiss women behind me chatting about attractive Latinos. Suddenly, one asked if her friend found me handsome. Without waiting, I turned and said, "Yes, I'm curious too. It was hilarious." Their faces were priceless, a mix of shame and confusion. Now I've got 2 new friends. They were speaking Swiss German, by the way. Later, they admitted they both found me attractive. I'm actually an American expat in Thailand with a big beard that draws attention. Locals don't realize I understand them. They often shout, "Look, monkey, want a banana?" or worse. I usually ignore it, but once I couldn't. 2 girls about 14 followed me yelling monkey comments. As they ran around screaming, I stopped and stared. I spoke in pure Thai. Blue-eyed monkeys don't exist. They have black eyes like yours. Their speech vanished instantly. While in Germany, my English teacher friend invited me to her high school class. She introduced me and I greeted them saying I'm from the US and happy to join. Then my friend said, "Guys, ask him questions in English. What do you think Americans are like?" Some kid up front decided to joke in German, calling Americans fat and stupid.